Coming up in this video, I'm modifying our plumbing to prevent freeze-ups. A bear relieves himself in our yard, and we talk about winter diesel fuel in the North Country. I'm Ben, this is Rebecca. We're leaving Alaska to drive our 4x4 expedition vehicle around the world. Between honoring our dogs through their golden years and then COVID, this is our third attempt at leaving the country. Join us as we prepare for the first leg of our journey, traversing the subarctic winter conditions of Alaska and Canada. Before I jump into the next item on our little to-do list, I wanted to share that we've had quite a few visitors to our yard this past week. A black bear tried to get into our trash can and was not satisfied, so he decided to take a dump on our lawn. Those red berries are high bush cranberries, and it's the time of year for those. I was actually shocked not to see these things called cow parsnip seed pods. There's no pods on this one, but there's little seed pods, and in the fall, bears like to feed on those as well. There has also been a lot of moose activity. A cow with 2 yearling calves. They felt comfortable enough to leave a few deposits in our yard. I love living in Alaska where there's we try to coexist with the wildlife. Sure, a bear tried to get into our trash can, but fortunately we have a bear-proof trash can, which is good because you don't want to, train those animals and get them used to feeding off of human stuff, because then it never works out well for the animal. Over here on the other side of the yard, that family of moose, definitely, they were hanging out here for a while. The Blink cameras picked them up. It may be a little hard to put it into context, but those are hoof marks in the moss of our lawn. In our part of Alaska, we get a ton of rain, and sure, there may be grass on our lawn, but there is also a ton of moss. Oh well, it is what it is. Well, things being what they are, living in a temperate rainforest in south central Alaska, the weather for autumn has been spectacular the past 2 or 3 weeks. The part that really gets to me are the torrential rains where we'll get 6 inches of rain in 3 days. That's just torturous. But it's been a rain shower here and there. A little cool, kind of wonderful fall weather. The grass has stopped growing, but I still need to get the lawnmower out and do one more pass just to mulch up all the leaves. Well, the issue that I'm going to attempt to resolve today involves the gray tank on the Habitat camper box. It is completely exposed to the elements. Yeah, it is a weak link. We're aware of it. But given all the other amazing capabilities of this truck, it's something I'm totally cool with working around at this time. So before I get started, I have become a huge fan of these Night Trail gloves, and these ones are really cool. They have grip and they're thick. And I don't know, when you're working with diesel, not that I'm working with diesel today, there's some antifreeze here, but it just helps keep your hands clean. And I'm also going to be working here on the ground in this area, a little stool to sit on. Game changer. And when I do need to kneel on the ground, this gravel is brutal, so a little bit of protection from a doormat goes a long way. But here's what we have. So this is on each side. There's only 2 drains in our camper. This one is actually for the shower. You see that loop there. That loop is essentially like a P-trap, like you would have on your kitchen sink. It just keeps odors from the tank from coming up into the camper. My idea is to cut that, install a T, and just let our gray water drain from the shower. So like I said, I'm aware that this is a weak link. And the efforts that we made on the last trip when we crossed that subarctic region of Alaska and Canada on our way south was to pour a little bit of RV antifreeze down the drain. And I was thinking that would occupy the space inside this little makeshift P-trap. It didn't work. They froze up anyways, and I'm guessing that just through splashing and whatnot, that RV antifreeze got a little diluted and just lost its effectiveness. So this is just another attempt. I don't really feel too guilty about just letting the water drain. We catch all our food scraps in a little mesh thing that sits in our kitchen sink. And the shower's just soapy water, so it's really no different than like washing your car in the driveway of your house. And heck, a lot of those small campers, I'm not sure if they're like the Scamps or the Casitas, I don't even think they have gray tanks. They just let that water fly right out of the sink. So I don't feel too guilty about it, but I do want to make it that we can deal with cold weather situations without having issues. First up, let's snap these zip ties off of this insulation, which really did not hold up well for subarctic conditions. I'm pretty confident this is 5/8 heater hose, but I bought what I need in case it's not 5/8 and it's 3/4. So now just a handy little box knife. Oh yeah, there's Dempster Highway crud in there. For those of you in the know, I'm sure you can relate if you've done the Dempster. That stuff is just everywhere. Oh, this is gonna suck. This hose is like really cold right now. Okay, there we go. There is RV antifreeze in here. Try not to get it on my face. It kind of drained out, slowly working our way through here. And come on. Oh, there we go. A little splash on my face, but that's not too bad. Since this heater hose has a bend in it, it has taken a shape kind of like an oval. Oh, that's not heater hose. That's like surgical tubing stuff. Interesting. Okay, this is a 5/8 T, and I think that'll do the job. This is not pressurized, so I think this will work. Wedge that puppy in there, and a hose clamp for the other side. I'll wedge that in. Okay. Get in there. Okay. They're both past the barb and seated. Oh, I think this is going to work. Now, off of the T, I'm going to put a little short length of 5/8 heater hose. All right, that is on. So I think that will work. So you can see the little T concoction, and it's going to go on the inside of the frame rail and just drop down and spill to the ground. I know this is totally like a MacGyver move, but I think this is going to work and resolve the problem and allow us to traverse bitterly -20 cold environments with one less issue. And if you're wondering, well, Ben, what's your plan when you do get to warmer climates? Well, this is it. I found a cap at our local Napa, and I'm just going to cap it off and put a chunk of hose on when we do enter into bitterly cold climates. Well, we pretty much have the same exact thing over here, but this is for our sink. And that U-shape section of hose is pretty much identical to what I was working with on the other side. Well, you don't need to see me repeat this same process over here, so take my word for it. I did it, and it is finished. Quite similar. There's the T, and then there's another perspective, and it's just gonna drain right on out. Well, hopefully a resolution to my little problem here was that easy to do, because this was such a simple little procedure hack modification, but I guarantee the Alaska and Canadian temps are gonna test it. Something else I did yesterday, and I'm not gonna like fake and pour it in, but we still have summer fuel in our diesel tanks. And diesel in bitterly cold conditions, it can gel, causing a whole world of issues. So I bought a little bottle of the Winterizer anti-gel, and I'm pretty confident once we get going, I know for a fact actually, we are going to have winterized fuel from the pump itself. But I just don't know for sure, and I know guaranteed that it was the summer months when we purchased this fuel. So this entire tank was pretty much full because it's our spare. The one on the passenger side, I'll call it our main tank because that's the one we generally run off of. That's sitting at about a quarter. And I'm thinking, since this is full, on our trip up to Anchorage, I'm going to burn fuel out of this tank, and then we'll top both of them off with fresh diesel that should theoretically be treated for bitterly cold subarctic temperatures. Coming up in the next video, I feel like a sellout over a kitchen appliance, and we're faced with a tough decision about fixing the heater. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and join the Outliers YouTube community for early video releases, exclusive content, live chats, and so much more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the road.